Hello guys and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be a bit different because normally I don't share my thoughts on units, but I thought it was kind of important to share my thoughts on this particular unit because a lot of people in my comments have very split decisions or split opinions about this character. So the character we're going to be reviewing today and sharing some thoughts about is going to be ML Haste. So I've been using ML Haste since the first minute he got released. I have the first Haste in global server, and I kind of wanted to share the thoughts that I have with the experience I had on him so far. This is my Haste. He has pretty awesome gear. It's mostly focused on defense because it's kind of a meme build that I have while I'm working on another build for him. For me, the best type of build that you can build for ML Haste is going to be every piece have HP percent, speed, and flat HP. If you can high roll in pieces like this and you reforge it, and you can put this haste to about 200 speed and a lot of HP, I would say that's the best build for him because then he will be a tanky DPS. Because if you can get him a lot of HP, make him fast, and run him on Portrait of Saviors, he's gonna be doing a lot of damage, and you'll be able to kill DPSs through damage mitigation, like Aureus. A lot of damage mitigation does not affect him, like Adamant Shield and Crimson Armin, because he doesn't crit with his S3. But Aureus and any type of sharing damage mitigation, that will always work against him, and it's going to be pretty strong against him. So my build is this one. Is basically all HP on the right side, and then try to get all the defense and speed that I could possibly get. This is basically my old Krog gear, so if you haven't seen those videos, go check them out. This is my Krog gear. So what I think about Haste. I think Haste is a very nice unit. And I do believe that it can be used everywhere as long as you have the correct build and as long as you have the correct support units for him. Because it's not one of those units that you can just slap in a team and he's going to work. Because you can do that, but his worth is never going to go above trying to one-shot a DPS, either getting that kill or not. That's going to be his worth, because if you're not going to take him constantly into anti-revive comps, his power gets diminished, because revive is the thing that makes him very strong. You guys probably know his skills. He strips on S1, he gets a massive shield every time the enemy revives something, and his S3 does HP scaling penetration with just as is, and when it's active, meaning that when you can use it and you don't, it provides the team 10% damage reduction. So he's a very useful unit on bruiser comps, but with my build, with my endgame build, with the HP stats that I told you earlier, that you can take into a cleave comp, and he's going to run as a support DPS or a support healer for that comp. So let's see in what fields the ML Haste kind of shines on. All right, let's talk about Arena. Arena Haste can be taken into any team that has an RB, and it can be taken against some other teams that have Ruels and made clothes in them. But I wouldn't really advise just slapping him on a team for anti-revive, because he might not perform the way you want him to, because he is a very good unit to get his reset when someone tries to revive. But the problem is, his is only going to get that reset and that damage back, meaning that he doesn't completely counter the whole team. He just gets a shield to your team to protect in terms of damage, and then he resets his S3 so he can heal further, and he can probably one-shot of the DPSs that got revived. Yeah, that's his worth. But it's not that good against tankier comps. If you go against like a comp with F. Sassy, Charles, Ruel, and I don't know, Crow, something like this, where all the units can be kind of tanky, getting that reset from a revive might not be enough. Because, for example, Ruel revives the unit to full HP. But on those type of comps, is always going to be useful for his strip and for the fact that he's gonna be always a very tanky unit. And those things are very worth. But yeah, we're going to do some demonstrations in this video in Arena, and we're going to try to show you where he goes well. This is the comp I normally use with him, so we're going to go into this. Against Arby's, you're going to see that he's an extremely valuable unit, because you'll see that against the Arby's, he gets his reset, and he manages to one shot the RB by himself, which is a very very valuable thing to do. Let me try to show you this. Even if he has a lot of counters, it doesn't matter. His heal is extremely worth, and I'll show you that. I might not be able to show you this because I'm gonna cleave, right? But I'm gonna pretend I'm not cleaving, okay? So, for example, I can do this, and for example, I can go on this can. Okay, one shot at the can, pretty easy with S1 because that's our blingo. And now let's see. This is basically what it does. I don't know if she has Aureas. I don't think she has Aureas. Okay, so he had a little bit of shield, but let's imagine he gets the kill like that. All right, he gets his reset. He protects his team. And against an RB, it's basically 1v1. Once you're at the stage that you can one shot an RB, you basically become very very independent towards RBs because you kill the RB, and then you protect your team. RB goes off, your team gets protected, and it just that's basically it. Like it just negates RB completely. So I would say that Haste is the 1-to-1 counter to RB because you kill the RB, you protect your team, you kill the RB again. It's like RB was never in that team to begin with. There are a lot of RB counters that you can use that are pretty good against RB, but honestly, this is for me. I think Haste is the best RB counter that I know of because he's tanky. He can last until he can get his turn, and if you build him well enough, he can kill the RB no problem. And once he does that, he gets his own reset, and then he kills him again. So it's like kills, protects the team, gets the reset, so he can actually go again on his turn and kill the RB again. So RB's basically against the Haste, it's basically buried into the ground. But I'm going to try to look for another tankier comp where it wouldn't do too good. I actually see one right here. Okay, for example, this Chloe. This comp, he can take some worth out of it, but this is probably not the optimum comp you want to take him against. So I'll show you that he's not going to be as worth here. Because he's a unit where in long fights his strip becomes valuable. In short fights his S3 is more valuable. So in short fights you want to be doing those short fights against RBs because if you go against those RBs in those short fights, he's going to have a really really high return because he's going to do everything he can to lock down that RB, and the RB is not going to do anything. So basically that squishy comp that you're going against, that squishy comp won't have anything good to do. Because one of their DPS is going to be crippled, and that's going to be it. But against teams like this one, it's kind of a bit more complicated. I'll explain why. Because right here I have the support of my Blingo that helps me kill things, right? But as you can see, he does not kill tankier units, which is also a thing. And now you'll see that his worth gets diminished. Alright, so with this revive, I'm gonna get reset, okay? But for example, I have 2 units to kill now. If for example, one of these units were like a Destina or something tanky that can heal, Haste would not be able to stop it. It wouldn't be able to stop it. What he can do is he can get rid of one of the units that got revived. And that's it. That's his job. His only job is to focus on one unit that gets revived. For example, that Charles isn't going to do anything the rest of the match, because even if he counters against that thick-ass shield, it's not going to do anything. So as you can see, we negated the revive, yeah? So she revived and did nothing from it, but in this longer fight, you will see that the bigger worth that it brings to the table really is going to be the strip. And I'll show you that in a second. Okay, I'm going to reset him again, because he has revive, and that's always kind of nice. And this reset does help with DPS, but as you can see against, for example, this made Chloe, it's not going to do anything. The damage is not there, because his damage at best can be good against, as you can see, he did 10k there because of the fact that it's a light unit, but sometimes that's just not the case. But with May Chloe, the cool thing is the revive. It can be exploitable, right? Because right here you can keep resetting. Like every time you take a revive from someone, he gets reset and he can get more damage. So against Maid Chloe is also very good, but in longer fights, there's a higher chance of your cleave, for example. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. For example, that Kayron could have popped a Dust Devil when he attacked there, and he could have killed my 2 DPSs, and he would have to solo, and then he's just not going to have enough damage. Because even if he kills the Kayron and gets reset, he kills the Kayron, and then when he comes down to a 1v1 with the Maid Chloe, he's not going to win. So in longer fights, he's not going to be that good. Okay, we just found a Hail Mary, because I was trying to find a proper team to showcase him in. This is a lot of revive, but let me tell you right away, Ruel is kind of a reviver that counters him because she protects whoever she revives. Even though it resets, you need to waste a turn to strip with S1 so you can attack it, so you probably need to wait for the enemy to get his turn. The enemy may get his turn and you're protected, but still it's not going to be good enough. Because for some reason, if the revived unit is very, very slow, you can take turns with all your units and you're going to lose that shield. And it can be kind of troublesome. Another unit that has a troublesome revive is the Aravi, because Aravi revives the unit with skill nullifier. So it's not like you can, go against the revived unit and S3 right away. You got to S1 first, and then you got to S3. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong then. But we're gonna take on this match, and I'm just gonna see how it is. Let's get and then this is probably going to be my last showcase for Arena, and then we'll go to GVG, and I'll tell you what type of thing he can do in GVG. Let's see. We're just going to try to strip things, push things. This is our normal combo that we do. And then we're going to do Sol Bornu into, just to give him a little bit of oomph damage. And against these type of comps, I just go super ham because the RB is going to be completely negated. I don't have to worry about him. But for example, this is very nice. Now I can deal with the maid. Like, now I don't even need to let the maid do anything, right? So I have a choice here. I can take out the RB, or I can just take out the reviver and have that happen. But for me, the best choice is probably to take out the RB, because you want to let the Maid Chloe give you more revives, because that's going to protect your team a lot, and it's going to make your enemy waste abilities. For example, that Aravi is itching to do S3, but if she does the S3 when you're fully protected by the shields, she's going to waste her ability. So we're just going to go on this RB. Probably going to nuke him if there's no Arius. I can't remember. We didn't nuke him. I didn't check if there was Aureus, but probably, I guess. That was like 8k damage, so probably. Didn't check, though. Alright, there you go. There's that revive. It's going to give us protection, so whoever gets revived, doesn't matter. Oh, actually, it doesn't give her any protection, because I actually thought I killed the guy. I actually didn't kill him, so it's fine. Now we get the protection. Now I can do some debuffs. So he's very safe to take to protect your team. For example, no matter what... Okay, goes for Blingo. Doesn't even... Like, it did 21 damage through the shield. So it doesn't matter at all. And it's really easy to control the units that get revived once they're low HP, for example, against this type of unit. For example, I can use this on her, because it's going to reset, so it's a free ability. I can just kill her, and it's free. There we go. And as long as units have revive, you can keep exploiting the protection that ML Haste provides. The next one we're going to try to kill is going to be this girl. So, as you can see, as shields go off, things get kind of dangerous, right? But one thing we can always do with ML Haste is save the units with revive on, and then just abuse them for the reset. So you can basically, against Maid Chloe, you can reset your ability against every single character, and you're just slowly taking things away for free until you can do a better combo and finish off your enemy. So that's normally how I use him against this type of team. And the protection he provides is really good. So there's another revive, so we get another protection. As you can see, the protection is very nice. And that's pretty good. After this, we're going to do GVG and see where he can actually shine there. Okay, I guess he's gonna dual attack, so it's fine. Alright, so this is basically it for Arena. He's a very good unit against revive units, but you can actually take him into units that don't revive, but you need to understand that on those fights, your worth is gonna be one-shotting a squishy unit, and then it's going to be your strip. Strip is actually very, very good because stripping attack buffs, revive not so much, but stripping shields from FSESI, stripping shields from, DNs, anything like that. Stripping is very, very nice, especially if you build them with the optimum speed of 200. Is S1s are gonna have a lot of worth, and they're gonna be very, very good to support your units that want to survive for longer. So that's gonna be that. So we're gonna go to GVG now. Okay, I've already used my text today in GVG, but I'm gonna try to show you what things you can do with ML Haste. Okay, as you can see there, I won the bottom team because it has an RB in it. So if you take Haste into any RB in any situation, you're going to be in an advantage. But, for example, in GVG, there is a comp you can run, which is very, very nice, which is basically the Dark Corvus comp. If you take a comp with these units, let me just set up a quick team for this. If you take a comp with these units, which are going to be Pharacades, ML Haste, where is him? Where is he? I can't English today. And you take Isseria. This is a very, very nice comp for you to take into GVG because this basically works as a Dark Corvus comp where you basically want to keep your ML Haste alive because he gets to do things. With Dark Corvus needs to get hit. In this comp, you don't really need to get hit. All you need is your Haste to take turns and your Isseria to take turns because when you take a turn with your Haste, you do your S3. Well, if you're going against a revive, it's going to be a lot better, right? Because you're going to get a lot of resets from that. But even if you don't, and if you're going against like a cleave team, if you have these three units and your Isseria is tanky, this can be a turn 2 solution because all the damage you're going to take for the first turn is going to be healed by Acades or it's going to be healed by Haste, and Isseria is going to be the unit to protect. And this is very, very easily baitable because not a lot of fire units are put into defense, meaning that Isseria on attack is going to be having a lot more worth. So this is the comp I normally would use if you really want to win with ML Haste because Isseria is good support, not only because of the reset, but also because of the artifact. If you put someone on target, it's gonna increase the haste damage by 15%. And that 15%, when you're ignoring defense, is very, very nice because it's a flat increase. If you're dealing 10k damage, you're gonna deal 11.5k damage. So it's gonna be very, very good to slowly get that up. Also, it's going to be good because of the extra strips. Because remember, you're going to have strips from Isseria, and you're going to have some extra strips from Haste. So this is possibly a team that you can take against units that use a lot of invincibility, units that use a lot of buffs, and then you can probably counter with that. All right, now let's talk about PvE. Where does Haste work in PvE? Haste's worth is going to be very, very limited to to Abyss Force. It's just how it's going to be. Your haste is going to be only worth on those Abyss levels that have revivers. But other than that, you can possibly take him as a frontline unit because he's always going to be trying to be a very, very high HP tank. You can also take him into things like Hunt. For example, you can take him against Wyvern 12 as a frontline tank. I've been doing that because I kind of want to farm some friendship, and you're gonna see that he does a good job at that. But other than that, in PvE, he doesn't really have a spot because there's not really a spot for a unit like him. Because as a healer, he heals pretty good, but unfortunately, his cooldowns are too high. The only reason the only way you can turn him down in terms of cooldowns is if you use cooldown reduction units like Ricarus or Dingo, Issaria, any unit that can reduce cooldown is going to help him heal, but it's not going to be as worth because his damage is not going to be very good. Because in PvE, all the bosses have a lot of HP, and defense penetration basically means not much, right? So, but as a frontline unit, you can actually take him because he's always going to be tanky, and that's always going to be very helpful for your team. So let's see how this one goes. Um, his damage is never going to be good. Never expect that. The only thing you can expect from him is minor healing, or well, actually good healing, but a high amount of turns apart, and that's basically going to be his worth. So he is not very recommended for PvE. Just like Spez though, any type of defense penetration unit is never going to have like a real spot in PvE. But in Hunt, you can take him as a frontliner, and it actually works. So that's fine. He's just gonna tank things. I mean, like it's not gonna be very exciting. He's just gonna take hits until your DPS has got done with it, and that's basically that. He's just gonna tank hits until you do things. All right. So this point is kind of proven. I just wanna let you know that it actually works. Like it doesn't hinder you too much to have him as a frontline unit. You'll see that he doesn't do a lot. He just tanks, but that's fine. We should land some defense breaks if you want to actually get this one done. There's the defense break. Now he's gonna do a little bit of jump, which is not very good. Okay, this is fine. This is fine because Sigrid does a lot of damage. Unless you don't crit like I just did, so let me just do that. I didn't crit on her, so whatever. She has like a 5% chance to not crit, so whatever. But yeah, as you can see, he's gonna tank. He's gonna do his job as a frontline unit until your units can actually finish up. And yeah, I mean, that's basically it. And then he gets to heal a little bit less. He gets to heal along. But as you can see, it takes a long time for him to actually do anything like that. So I wouldn't advise it a lot because it's probably not going to make your runs faster. But then again, I was using 2 level 50 units as DPS, so he does a good job at tanking. What else? What other fields of the game can we take him into? Okay, he can be taken as a support unit for Hall of Trials, mostly because he's easy strip on S1. He is the only unit so far that can 100% chance strip on S1, and a lot of these, Hall of Trials are actually pretty ruthless when it comes down to buffs, and they can get a lot of defense buffs, a lot of stuff like that, and he can actually be very good for these in terms of minor stripping, because he's going to take a lot of turns in terms of spamming S1, and he's going to provide that support heal from time to time. But in terms of stripping, that's basically it. It's just a very slow but consistent S1 stripper. And at that job, he does a very good job. I'm not going to talk about story because, as you may imagine, he's a single target unit that doesn't actually deal a lot of damage, and you don't really need a lot of sustaining to story, so he is actually unusable in story. This is why I'm actually farming his friendship in Wyvern, because he actually does a better job as a tank there than anywhere else that I would want to take him into story. So yeah, he has no place in story, but a lot of units don't have any place in story. So guys, that's basically it. Those are my thoughts after using Haste for the amount of time that I did use him. I love the unit. I actually take him anywhere I can because I want to try to, maximize his S3 damage to try to be able to one-shot some units. His healing is very, very nice, and if I'm going against revivers, it just makes the job so much easier. But he is a very usable unit when it comes down to just, using him as a safe semi DPS unit, because even if he doesn't one-shot a DPS, he's gonna hurt, and if he hurts and he's tanky, it's a very safe unit to take, right? He also is very good against MLKens. If the MLKen is almost half HP and he's not triggering the Sigurd Scythe yet, he's a very good unit to clean out because he's never going to get countered by him because of the S3 not critting. So he has like some odd matchups that he's good against, but most of the time he's just a very solid unit, good healer, and very, very good S1 stripper, which is one of the things that he has that is most unique because it is 100% chance and the damage is actually pretty nice. Talking about builds though, there's a lot of people going around with different builds for him. Some people want to build him like Dark Corvus, give him 30k HP, which is basically impossible with his base stats, but still. Want to give him 30k HP, make him really slow, but when he takes a turn, he one shots any DPS unit. Some people do that. I don't advise it because I don't think it's a good build because he doesn't take a lot of turns, and if he doesn't take a lot of turns, you're basically using him for his S3 to be an S3 bot, and then he becomes a very, very shit unit against other stuff. He becomes good against revivers because he gets the reset and he deals a lot of damage because he's tanky, but he's never going to take a turn. He gets really, really, gets really weak against debuffs. It's a whole ordeal, and for me, it's not worth. Some other people are using him with high HP, crit damage, and crit chance just to use him for his S1, and then they never use the S3 because as long as the S3 is up, it grants 10% damage reduction. So some people want to use him for a S1 bot. Because of the damage reduction here, so they only use his S1, and if they kill something with revive, it still works. So yeah, for me, that's actually not a terrible build. I mean, it's fun because if you make him with really good stats like fast and with high damage, his S1 is actually going to hurt by a lot because it does scale quite a bit with his HP. But other than that, I think the build that is most optimal for him is as much as HP as possible with portrait and as much speed as you can possibly give him. 200% would be very, very good because 200% would mean that he can be quite fast and he can be at the stage of good RTA DPS unit level, right? So that's the dream and the build that I will go for him one day as I get the gear. But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on Blood Moon Haste. I really enjoyed the unit, and yeah, that's basically it. We're gonna finish up our video on a little bit meme section on my Discord. All right, let's go for our meme section of today's video. So we're gonna start with this one. Opponents, when native picks his Blingo, seeing the damage of native's Blingo, opens the eyes. Yeah, that's a really good one. And this one is from Sakura. Saruka? He changed his name. I used to know your name. Goddamn people. That's not it. Lil. All right, guys. So this is a pretty good one as well. No more Chad Crow, Shadam Haste. All this is actually themed because we're talking about him today. And this one is also from Sao. Let me see. Do I have any more? All right, we didn't talk about this, but yeah, the amount of mystics you get it's pretty crap. It's interesting. A fair and acceptable reward. Yep. Yeah, I guess a lot of people were talking about this one, huh? Yeah, that's interesting. Like getting 2 summons in return for like 8 summons. Like you can either do 8 summons or 2 summons. Not worth it, in my opinion. But that's basically it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. And as always, my Discord link is always in the description. So yeah, see you guys then. Bye bye.